Violent crime is a growing problem for some communities. Some police authorities are looking to arm all officers with tasers. But is that the right approach? I'm Mal Fletcher, and this is 2030 Plus. Tasers conduct electricity through two barbed darts which penetrate human skin, disrupting voluntary muscle control. Some police studies suggest that rates of officer injury go down significantly when tasers are available. The use of tasers, though, raises some very important questions. The first is this: is a rise in violent crime likely to be temporary? In the past few years, rates of knife crime have risen in regions of the UK, just as they did almost a decade ago. At some point in the last decade, those numbers began to decline again, which leads some experts to wonder whether these rises, these surges, are always temporary, and if they are, what is triggering them. It's very important that police officers are able to defend themselves and to subdue violent offenders. But if arming all officers is our primary response, we might be making permanent a situation that need only be temporary. We also need to consider the impact on public psychology if all police carried tasers. Back in the 1990s, police in New York City faced unprecedented crime rates. They commissioned studies that reported back on what later became known as broken windows theory. The notion is that if the physical environment is seen to be dilapidated, if windows are left broken and graffiti is not cleaned up, people start to feel that the system has abandoned them. When that happens, the theory goes, people may start to return the favour, to behave in kind, acting antisocially in ways that buck the system. If arming police officers is our primary response to social problems, we might reinforce the idea that the system is fundamentally broken, that it can't deal with problems without resorting to violence. And this can reinforce the sense of insecurity and desperation that stoked the flames of violence in the first place. Some people will argue that crime is almost always caused by poverty or poor education. Yet there are plenty of people who, while raised in rather desperate situations, never resort to violence. Some human beings will become violent simply because they can. But there are others whose propensity for violence would be reduced if they had access to better opportunities and better surroundings. There's one more factor for us to consider here. When officers are trained in the use of tasers, they're told that they must use them, quote, proportionately and reasonably. And that's a very subjective judgment to make, and one that places the emotional and physical condition of officers under the spotlight. The question is, how is that being monitored? What support systems are in place for police to help them make sound judgments in pressure situations? Now, I'm emphatically not excusing violent crime, far from it, and police officers do need adequate protection. But we need to do more than arm our brave crime fighters. Without going soft on crime, we need to keep trying to get ahead of the causes as well as the symptoms. I'm Mal Fletcher. Thanks for watching.